Hello everybody, I am Claudia. This is Patchwork with Claudia. Today we are working on the Ohio Star block. To make this block, we need to cut 4 squares of 4.5 inches of color A, 1 square of 4.5 inches color B, 2 squares of color A and 2 squares of color B of 5.5 inches to make this part of the block. So let's see it. Here I already have all my squares. So we are going to work first with the big squares. So the first thing that we do is we are going to draw lines on the square with the light fabric. And so we draw the lines diagonally, and the line in the middle will be the line that we are going later on to cut, and the two other lines we draw these lines a 1/4 inch from the center line, and on these lines is where we are going to sew. So we line up our 2 squares and we sew on these lines. So let's sew. Here is our block ready to be sewn. So we are sewing from this line, and we then return from the other line, and then we cut from the middle line. So let's do it. For better precision, I am helping myself with pins, so the fabric is a little more stable. Here I already sew. You can see better for this side. So now we need to cut twice. So after we press, we are going to cut diagonally from here to here. And then we are going to cut here. So with this square, we are going to get 4 pieces. So let's see. Here I already have my block. So I cut it diagonally both sides. So now I have my 4 pieces. Now I open and then we open the other side, the opposite side we are taking, and we sew this way. So that way we already have one of the sides, and we do the same with the other square that we sew. We cut in 4 and then we get this form. So let's iron all 4 and then continue sewing. Here I already press all my blocks. Now I help myself with pins so the seams align, especially here where is the seam from the prior sewing. Now we are going to sew this way, similar here, and then we press again and we continue assembling our block. Let's continue sewing. This time we are sewing a 1/4 inch as always. we are very careful that our seams align as much as we can. The Ohio Star quilt pattern is an old pattern that quilters have been practicing for a long time. So after we finish putting together these pieces, we are going to press again the seams, and then we are going to setting up our final block. Here I already pressed all my 4 blocks. Now I need to make sure that each block is 4.5 inches. So let's start checking and trimming it. So let's see, that is 4.5 inches each way. And then let's start cutting on one side, and then let's do to the other side. So now we already have one that is 4.5 inches each side. Now we do the same with the other 3. Here is the block. Now we need to sew here, here, attach here these pieces, here, here, and here. Then we press, and then we sew from here and here. And then we press again, and our block will be done. So let's continue sewing. As usual, we sew 1/4 inch. We line up our material and start sewing. The ending block will be 12.5 inches. This tutorial will be available in Spanish here in my channel. I appreciate that you guys like it, share my videos, and subscribe to my channel so you get notifications whenever I have another tutorial. That way we can continue growing our community. So here we can see that the block is turning. We can see better how the block is turning. So here I am lining my fabrics again. Here is the last block. So let's see what we have so far. We remove the thread and let's put it here together to see what we have so far. So we are this way now. So now we press and we sew these 2 rows and we are done. So here is already pressed. We have a better view when it is pressed. So what I did, I pressed the middle part of the block. I press the seams toward to the darker fabric, and the 2 sides I press toward to the white fabric. Since here we have more seams on this side, so it will be better to sew. So now I'm going to help myself with pins to align these seams and continue assembling our block. So here we go, 1/4 inch, and let's put together the block. Let's align these seams here again. So here we already have 2 parts together. Now we are going to attach the last part. So let's help with pins to align these seams from the prior sewing. Let's do on the other side where that my fabric, my seams match these kind of corners, and then let's sew 1/4 inch, align here, and let's move. Something gets wrong here. So here we have the block. Now we need to press again and it's ready. So let's press our block. Here is our ending block, 12.5 inches. So I hope you enjoy it and practice it. Here is a quilt that I made in 2013 with the same pattern, Ohio Star. I made it with a different size. The block is only 8 inches. The block that we worked together was 12.5 inches. But you can see it, the same concept, different sizes, you can do it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. See you next time in Patchwork with Claudia. Bye.